touchdown passes last year. This one's knocked up. Bowers tips it to himself, and he'll score.
Snaps it anyway. Greer lobs it in the air. Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State. Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the left. This year. Here's a blitz, and Klubnik didn't see it coming. He got blasted by Kalen DeLoach, who has the ball and is heading toward the end zone.
What is going on, everyone? It is College Football Talk with Hunter and Dylan, episode 65, I believe. But we are back with another episode where we got ACC Team Rankings today. We've been continuing that on, and we got the college baseball tournament starting up tomorrow. As of today, we are recording on a Thursday, so tomorrow is NCAA Regionals Day 1. So we got all of our picks for regionals, super regionals, and Omaha, as well as favorite regional and toughest regional.
We have a good day.
We do. We have a good day, good show on the way, and Dylan, do you have anything you want to say before we get started?
No, I'm just glad to be back. You know, we took another little hiatus. Me and Hunter both had different things we needed to get done. Went on a mini vacation. You know, life got busy, but we're back. We're ready to do some more episodes.
We are ready to roll here in the summer stretch.
Yes.
So we get inches closer, day by day, to college football starting on. But we got a college baseball really episode today.
Yep.
But before that, we will get into our ACC team rankings. So we will get right into that. We're going to pop the screen to just the rankings. Dylan's going to have control of this.
Yep.
So we have best, contender, pretender, worst, and then Notre Dame. So Notre Dame refuses, in football at least, to join the conference and play because of NBC.
Yes.
So what that means is that they will be down in their own category. So congratulations there, Notre Dame. But now that we got that out of the way, we will get rolling. So for best, I think we can clearly put Florida State in.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I think even though Florida State has a lot of players who left for the NFL, I still think they put together a pretty solid transfer and recruiting class, and a lot of the guys who they already had coming back are pretty good. I think they probably have the best, if not the second best coach in the ACC right now. I think right now it's pretty hard to argue against them being the clear-cut number one right now.
Yeah, for sure. It's really just going to be about how DJ Uyunglele plays this year for them.
Yes.
Because, what I've been reading and watching about, they're still kind of waiting for him, I think, to just play consistency enough to where, they can rely on him always down the stretch. I think they're still getting a little bit of, which hand are we going to be dealt today?
Yeah.
So if he can play consistent football for an entire season stretch, the Noles should be right back to where they were last year. The only real hiccup they could see on their schedule, as far as maybe any speed bumps go, that October stretch leading into early November is Clemson, Duke, Miami, at Duke and Miami, and then North Carolina and at Notre Dame. Yeah. So that could be the only real, that's going to be the stretch where we're going to really find out what Florida State's about, because before that, really don't get challenged at all. Georgia Tech, Boston College, Memphis, Cal, and SMU's nothing really to be, I think worried about. So I think so we're really going to find out who FSU's all about with this year. I think that in that October, early November stretch.
Yes.
I think the next team really we could put is probably Miami, I want to say.
In contender or best?
I think best.
Okay, I agree with you. I really like quarterback they brought in.
Cam Ward, yes. I think Cam Ward.
I think he's going to be a good player this year.
I think he's going to be really good. I think a lot of those young guys that played last year for Miami are really going to step up again this year. And, I think Cristobal's finally got, I think, the team to really do some damage in Miami. They
Yeah.
bring in Damian Martinez, too, out of the portal from the running back out of Oregon State. They brought in a couple edge guys as well. So Miami's quietly got a squad down there, I think. And I'm going to pull up their schedule real quick. But, I think they can finally put something together. But, as we both know, that week 1 game, they go to Gainesville against Florida in the Swamp. And it's really going to be, for both schools that day, like a tale of, can we get the season going on the right foot, or are we going to kind of like fall right in the mud and kind of start just rev our tires up and get stuck in the mud some? And because if Cristobal can win that, they could be going. There could be a really good sign for like stuff to come.
Not just for this coming season, but the future of that program too.
Yeah, because after Florida, they have Florida A&M, Ball State, USF. That's 4-0 before they host Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
The schedule, it's not too bad. They get Florida State at home. The real only road games are at Cal, at Louisville. They go to Wake Forest, and Georgia Tech, and then USF. So, nothing crazy there. So they get all their bigger games at home, which is nice.
Yeah. They do have, for the most part, an easier schedule this year, especially compared to last year.
Yeah.
Where they had some tough games in there. Going to Tallahassee to the end of the year, especially for that Florida State team, that was tough.
Yeah, 100%. So I think Miami, if they can just, have good quarterback play, because last year what we saw with Tyler Van Dyke was too many turnovers, which really hurt them in games that if you looking back, they probably say we probably should have won those.
Yeah.
I think about the North Carolina game really at the top of my head, how they were leading at halftime and then just turnovers killed them in that second half. And North Carolina just kind of put their foot down on the pedal. And
they should have lost that Georgia Tech game because of a late game turnover.
Yeah, turnovers.
That was their problem all year. And it wasn't even just at the quarterback position. It was, there was running backs with fumbles, wide receivers not catching ball. There was a problem all across the field of just not holding onto the ball.
Yeah, if they can get that figured out, we'll see where they go. But that week 1 game, that week 1 game is really going to be the difference maker to see kind of where we are. Is you're not getting any really as much as Florida has been stuttering the last few years. They're still, I think I saw a stat since 2020. I think 2019 or 2020 or something. They're 24-5 or something, I believe, at home. As bad as they've been on the road, they play pretty well at home. And that place is going to be charged. I'll be there. I'll be boots on the ground. So that's going to be in a charged atmosphere, as it always is. And so Miami can walk out of there with a win. Look out for the Canes. Clemson will put up their best.
That's what I was wondering, is where we would put Clemson.
I think they're the 3rd team, and I think that's it as far as best goes. Clemson, they're only one of 4 schools in this transfer cycle to not get a transfer portal or to not pick up somebody out of the portal. And the other 3 schools were Army, Air Force.
Yeah, the 3 military schools who can't really get transfers.
No, because you have to have permission from Congress or something to even leave. And so we'll see. Dabo has a vision. He said that all high school players are transfers.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
So,
he lives in his own world.
He's kind of, I don't know if he's stuttering some, not stuttering, sputtering, maybe out of control a little bit. But, I feel and they haven't been bad. And that's the thing. It's even when they've had the last few years, they've had these hiccups to start the year. They still finished with 9 or 10 wins. And I know, and people look at them differently because of how successful they were in that Trevor Lawrence stretch.
Yeah.
When they were just winning everything and not losing games. But now, it's is Dabo losing it? He's not using the portal. What are we doing? And so I think the second year under Cade Klubnik,
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Riley is back another full year as OC.
Yeah.
They have some guys. I think they finally have some guys at receiver that they like. They have been missing that the last few years. So it's just there hasn't been any weapons for
Yeah.
Clemson. So I think they finally have some guys. They start they're 13.5-point underdog right now, week 1 at Georgia. It's a neutral site in Atlanta. I don't think they're going to be
neutral site with like quotations because it's going to be 70% Georgia fans.
I mean, it's relatively close, I think, to both places. I know it's 90 miles from Athens.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reasonable like distance from Clemson too.
But it's just that, the city of Atlanta is Georgia fans.
Yeah.
That's a Georgia city. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's just, even though it is a neutral site, it's going to be more of a Georgia atmosphere. It's going to be harder to play in than per se if the game was in, I don't know, Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
So I think going in, you're at a disadvantage because you're not as good talent-wise. You're not even really close to as good right now because they just haven't been able to recruit as well. They don't use the transfer portal. They develop guys fantastic. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. They can develop guys over 4 years, but it's kind of hard to do that.
Imagine like what they would have done, like if they could get like a Keon Coleman out of the portal.
Yeah, exactly.
Or trying to think of some other just big difference makers.
Jared Verse.
You know what I
mean? It's like
there's like guys like that. It's like you can. And it doesn't mean like you have to strictly just like
doesn't mean you're
just
a portal
focus
merchant.
on the portal merchants. Yeah, like you can still develop guys, but it also helps with just like the win now kind of thing.
Yeah,
where you're not having to just kind of be stuck into the development process all season long, and and that's what Clemson wants to do. That's what Clemson wants to do. So, I'm not gonna knock on them, but I think some Clemson fans will be like, okay, we want to kind of get back to being because I feel like as dominant as they've been in the ACC, it's almost like Florida State's kind of just almost pushed them off that mountain.
Yeah.
And even though it's only been a year.
Well, I mean, even last year, Florida State was knocking on that door.
But Clemson won the time. I think it's the crazy thing is like Clemson still won the ACC, but I think if they can just kind of put a good season together and maybe just kind of take back what's theirs, I think they'll be all fine. I think we go to the contender spot.
Yeah.
Put NC State at the top for sure. I like NC State a lot. I like NC State as a dark horse pick to win the ACC. I just think they get Grayson McCall in from Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
Quarterback, which I think is an upgrade from what they had last year with Armstrong from Virginia.
Yeah, so, no, absolutely there. Yeah.
I think you're going to get definitely an upgrade. And, they always seem to be like one of those teams. It's like, they're just good. No matter how, like.
They've actually haven't won 10 games, though, since 1994.
But I just think that they're going to be. They always play well. And I like NC State where they're at. And they have that week 2 game in Charlotte against Tennessee. And if they can win that, they can really – they have that Tennessee game and then they're at Clemson. If they can win those, even split them, I think there's the rest of the season they're in Northern Illinois, Wake Forest, Syracuse, Cal, Stanford, Duke, Georgia Tech, NC State or UNC.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
And if Grayson McCall will play good enough, and that NC State team will be fine. I think they'll be good enough to win those games. I mean, I could see a 9-3, 10-2 season here for sure.
I don't think it's impossible. But
I think they need to split that Tennessee Clemson game. But even if they lose the Tennessee game, that's not a conference game. So
yeah,
you're not like setting yourself back in that department at least. I think they're a sneaky dark horse pick to win the whole thing. I was gonna look up their odds real quick. But I think
they're probably like 6 if I was to guess.
Let's see.
Because if I was to guess, I would think that North Carolina and Louisville would be ahead of them.
Conference futures. So in the ACC, it's Florida State plus 275, Clemson plus 300, Miami plus 450, and then Louisville plus 600, to which I was going to put Louisville next.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So we can move Louisville to contender. Louisville, Tyler Shuck comes in. Their secondary is going to be really good. The defense is going to be good. They're another team that's like could stir up some stuff.
I really like Jeff Brom as a head coach too.
Jeff Brom, especially second year, how well he did in their first year.
He took him to a conference title in his first year as the head coach. This is the second time Louisville's been to the ACC title, right? Or is it the first time? No, it's the first time. Because they've been losing to Clemson every single year.
I mean, and even though they sputtered a little bit down the stretch with losses, they had the loss against Kentucky. That was a bad loss.
Yep.
You know, they had the ACC title loss and then the loss to USC. I think that they still had a good enough year where they're going to be able to, they're going to be able to carry that in. They're at plus 600. NC State right there at plus 700, and then it kind of tears off. Excuse me. But yeah, those two teams, dark horse picks, right? They're kind of like the middle of the Packers, but still back enough.
Yeah.
The next team, I don't know.
I was thinking Virginia Tech personally.
Virginia
Tech.
I don't
think they're as good as the 5 teams we have above, but I think they're marginally better than everybody below them.
Yeah, I want to see what they do still. I like where they're at.
Yeah.
But I would put them maybe at the top of pretender. Just for now.
What about UNC?
UNC, I'd have them join there. I just need to see more from them.
Okay.
Because I see UNC, I would put Virginia Tech ahead of UNC. You know, North Carolina, they've played so well. They've always played so well, and then they just, for some reason, can't finish the year.
Yeah.
And each year I get just suckered in. They pull me in a little bit, and it's like, all right, here we go. They're back. We got a squad, and then they lose games they're not supposed to, and then it's like it's never just one loss in a row. It's another loss, and then they get injured. They can't stop anybody, and it's just bad. Virginia Tech, they had a really good bounce back year last year. You know, they're plus 1,400 odds right now to win the conference. If they can, you know, do something as far as, you know, put it together this year, and I would not be shocked if they do. I mean, it would not surprise me in the least. They have a game against Clemson at home. I forget which game. I forget what week it is. I'm looking it up. Where a lot of people think, like, if they're like undefeated or one loss at the time when this happens, you want to see Lane Stadium come back to life a little bit here, as if it never left. But they have how
NCAA is going to look this summer, like the game.
They have a night game at Miami, 7:30 on Friday, the 27th of September. That will be the big first test for Virginia Tech. Because other than that, they have Vanderbilt at home. They go to Vanderbilt, Marshall at ODU, Rutgers at Stanford with Miami in between there, Boston College, Georgia Tech at Syracuse, and then the Clemson date. They host Clemson November 9th. If they could somehow go into that, you know, let's say they go, you know, they're 4-0, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1. If they're 8-1,
that place is going to be a madhouse.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, come on.
Oh yeah, I just think those two teams right there are the like. I just need to see it.
I just don't know, because I feel like we're going to put them next to a couple teams where I think, like, even if they don't live up to all the expectations, they're still so much better.
Yeah,
that it feels wrong putting them next to, like, you know. Well, because I think the next team pretender for me is SMU.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but I think both Virginia Tech and UNC are going to be better than SMU.
What's funny is SMU has better odds, though.
Yeah.
Except they have better odds than North Carolina. Warsaw, they're just behind Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, Rhett Lashley, it'll be interesting to see if they can actually, do like transfer into a bigger conference and still have success.
Yeah.
Because they've been an American, like they've really started to come on late with the American conference and just take over.
Yeah.
If they can kind of make a smooth transition this upcoming year, they could contend. I don't think they're going to win it, but I
think they can. When they play the teams at the bottom is the only thing where I'm like, okay, well they can make themselves look a lot better, because I think the problem with the ACC is there's a lot of bottom feeders right now.
What do you think about Syracuse though? Do you like?
Oh, I think they're going to be bad.
You think?
First year head coach.
But their schedule's not bad. They have like a Louisville type schedule from last year.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen Syracuse play
really
but
they bring in Kyle McCord.
That doesn't mean anything.
Oh, come on. You don't know that.
Personally, I think the next team is probably either Georgia Tech or Duke.
I'd put Syracuse in after SMU. Because everyone else is going in the worst spot.
Well, I don't know. Because I think Tech is probably better than the
then put Georgia Tech at the end of Syracuse.
Yeah. The sad six. And then there's Duke, where I'm like, I don't think you're as bad as those teams.
Put them in. I mean, I think, these are like the middle of the Packers, that pretender spot. Mm-hmm. Duke, you get Manny Diaz first year.
Yeah.
You bring in the quarterback transfer from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know how they're going to be first year. I'm sure they're going to be fine maybe in the next year or two after, but
I think they'll probably be like a 6-6. They'll have a couple games where they look dominant, but then they're going to have games where they look lost.
I'd put them in after Tech. I think Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Is Haynes King still at Georgia Tech?
Yep. One more year.
So, I mean, I'm sure they'll be all right. I mean,
I think they'll be fine. I mean, look, I think they're going to improve. I mean, we saw it last year. They were a much better team than they.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to see if Florida State week 1 they keep it competitive
for the first
because it's
the first half. I think so. I think the second half Florida State will be able to take it away, but
yeah, I mean, it's in Ireland.
Yep.
Maybe you kind of play them tough the first 2, maybe 2 quarters, maybe a little bit into the third, but then Florida State just kind of pulls away. Maybe just because it's week 1, you can steal one maybe. But other than that, I mean, Georgia Tech will be Georgia Tech. I'm sure they'll be fine, but I don't know. I never have high expectations anymore. I know Brent Key's doing a really good job down there. But
he needs a few more years to really get it there, though.
Yeah, it's just so hard to, I think, do anything with that because of how academics play in a factor there. And
I think that hurts a lot of the teams here, especially in this bottom tier. Because the same thing happens with Stanford,
Virginia, Boston College, Cal. As far as ranking them goes, I think Pitt goes first.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's go
I'd
Pitt.
probably go with Boston College.
Well, I go Pitt first, Boston College second.
Yeah.
Wake Forest third. Let's go Stanford.
Yeah. I'd probably go Cal, then Virginia.
Yeah. Virginia is just an absolute abomination.
Virginia's going to be horrible this year.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Elliott, I don't know what he's going to do, but
he's going to get fired. That's what he's going to do.
But it's like, you can fire the guy, but you're just going to start back to, you're never getting off the ground. That's the thing.
But I think you got to accept at some point that you made a mishire.
Yeah.
You hired the wrong guy.
Again, it's just, you're been so bad. It's like it's gonna be ugly at first. So, do you just continuously fire and rehire and just start the process over again? If that's how it is, Virginia will be.
I just feel like the problem is that you've made such a. I think Tony Elliott's a complete failure as a hire, and I don't think he has the ability to salvage it.
Yeah, and it could be out of his control too because of just. Circumstances
around the program, yeah.
But This is the ACC tier rankings according to us.
Yes.
Agree to disagree.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If anybody else agrees with me that Virginia Tech might need to be a little bit higher, sound off. Just give us your opinions on everything.
Listen, I am no anti-Hokie, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying I want to see a little more. I want to see it together.
Yeah.
Can we put it together? I have a lot of these ACC teams. Can we put it together? We got the two pieces of bread. We got everything on him. We got to put it together now.
Yeah. I mean,
even some of the top teams.
Mhm.
Florida State, that quarterback play is what's really going to determine how well those top three teams go.
Yeah.
The two teams underneath, I think they're going to need to steal a game.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to be good. They may need to just steal a game. And then the rest are going to be, we got to put it together. We got the sandwich. We need something. And the bottom tiers, let's just keep our head above water,
I think if you're on the bottom team, you are just hoping that you win a conference game.
I bet you, I wouldn't be shocked if Stanford or Cal steals like a game or two being at home, just using that West Coast advantage.
I think especially since what is it, Miami who has to go to Stanford?
Let me see. Virginia Tech has to go to Stanford?
Yeah, that's not fun.
Let me see Miami.
I think it's Miami goes to Stanford this year.
Let me see. Miami. Welcome to Miami. Let me see here. Nope. They go to Cal.
Okay, yeah.
And listen, Cal about beat Auburn last year at home. So I'm telling you, these West Coast teams, watch them. They're going to steal a game or two every year because of this. Especially if they make it like a 10:30 game. ACC After Dark will be electric or mediocre. But that's what makes it so special.
Oh, it's going to be electric, but it's going to be electric because the games are going to be mediocre.
That's what made Pac-12 After Dark so special because of how mediocre both teams were. It made the games great.
It was amazing watching Stanford play Arizona State and neither team being able to stop the other team.
Exactly. But yeah, those are the ACC schools, our tier rankings. Next week we will have Big 12 to round it out because the Pac-12 ones can't really do. The Pac-2. So yeah, that we'll finish out the Power 4 going into next week, and then we're gonna go from there. But enough football for the day. We will now move on to baseball.
Yes.
You're like, whoa, this is a college football podcast. No, well, we like to expand the horizon, the collegiate sports.
We talk about everything.
And we did this last year. We had good numbers. So let's do it again. Why not? Because we love baseball. And I love college baseball. Dylan likes baseball.
I love college baseball.
There we go. Perfect. So we're going to start with favorite regional. And this could be, we're talking about regionals like the 4 right now. There's not super regionals, not Omaha. We're talking about the regionals. So we have Knoxville, Greenville, Norman, Tallahassee, Fayetteville, Charlottesville, Tucson, Chapel Hill, College Station, Santa Barbara, Stillwater, Clemson, Athens, Raleigh, Corvallis, and Lexington. Now, if you want to know the in-depths of every one of them and who's playing and who, it's a quick Google search will get that to you right there. I just don't have enough time or saliva in my mouth to get all those teams out right now.
Yeah.
So I think let's go with maybe just 2 or 3 off the top of our head, what we think. You can start if you want.
I really like the Tallahassee Regional.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. I mean, you got 4 teams that not only are all really solid baseball teams, but they're all really close to each other. Like the schools are all within 200 miles from each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're very close. They're very. I mean, these are all great, especially, it's great to see like Alabama's been good for a couple years now, but, Florida State is coming off a really bad season last year with the first year manager, but first time at Florida State. He came from Notre Dame. So I'm excited for this regional. I got a couple guys I know who played at my high school who were playing at Florida State. So I'm excited to see how they do. But I'm excited for that regional more than anything else. What about you?
That's not a bad regional because Florida State, how they bounced back after being really bad last year. They Link Jarrett got them moving. It's kind of funny that they could have put Florida. They could have put Florida in and made it just an all Florida regional. But they chose to send the Gators to Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Yeah,
nice little touch there. Although they should make whether or not they could have been in it, that's a different question. One of my favorite ones off the top of my head, I'm gonna go with the Tucson regional. Arizona hosting. They kind of made a late surge at the end of the year. They won the Pac-12 regular season and tournament outright. The final one. Oh, good night, sweet prince. And then Dallas Baptist comes in as the 2 seed in that. They had an argument if they didn't really have a lull in the middle of the year to have maybe had a shot at hosting, but they're coming in as the 2 seed. West Virginia is kind of been rolling ever since JJ Weatherholt came back. And then you got Grand Canyon. So the Antelopes in there at the 4 spot. A lot of offense is going to be happening. And I really don't know. I think I won't say it yet because we'll get to that in a second. But any team can really win this regional. Yeah.
No, absolutely. That regional, especially, I think so. The only team I don't see winning that regional is Grand Canyon, but
I think, outside of them, and you never know because baseball is probably the most unpredictable sport. So, here, we'll just go kind of snake rules here. So I'll go again. And the other one I really like is the let me see. Probably the Chapel Hill regional one that's connected with it. Mainly because I'm just curious to see is North Carolina hosts I think they're the 4th overall seed. But you have LSU in there, and LSU's been rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, a 40-win team. They've won. It's either 4 of their last 5 series or 3 of the last 4 going down the stretch. They completely took over Hoover, Alabama last week in the SEC tournament.
Yeah,
they can get going. They got some dudes that can pitch and jump and herd and there's another guy I can't remember his name, but they got some dudes. And if the offense just keeps on rolling, they could steal that regional. And I tell you right now, North Carolina did not want to see them in that. Yeah. Wofford has a pitcher he's been multiple time, pitcher of the week nationwide. So Wofford maybe to steal a game against LSU, possibly. You never know. The Terriers, always a team to look out for. But I like that one. Just from strictly upset mind, got to be one right there.
I got to go with after you as a Bryan College Station. I think it's just gonna be fun. You got Texas A&M, Louisiana, Raging Cajuns, and Texas. Obviously, you also have Grambling in there, but I'm not gonna be honest with you. I don't think they're gonna be too much of a threat to win the conference or to win that regional. But see, Texas A&M and Texas go at it in a regional is gonna be fun. We're gonna see some horns down thrown. We're gonna see some home runs hit. It's gonna be. I think one's gonna be a fun one.
I mean, even Louisiana Lafayette, do not mess around with the Raging Cajuns. They could steal. I think they could steal one against Texas. I mean, Texas better not be sleeping on thinking they're just going to waltz to play A&M because they'll find themselves in the losers bracket real fast. They do that. Those are their favorites. We'll move now to toughest regional. Toughest one, I won't say the Chapel Hill one because that is clearly up there.
Yeah.
That would probably be my runner-up one. My toughest one, though, is got to be the Greenville one, only because a lot of people thought East Carolina wasn't going to be able to shouldn't have hosted. They thought maybe Duke should have got that host spot or Mississippi State. But East Carolina gets the nod as the 16th overall seed in the tournament. But you have Wake Forest right there. And Wake Forest is really good. Chase Burns is really good. One of the best pitchers in the league, in the nation. He transferred in from Tennessee. And he has just dominated. And Wake Forest can hit the crap out of the baseball. The only thing that concerns me with them is their pitching outside of Burns going to be good enough? And can East Carolina, match that? East Carolina's been dealing with some injuries. They've kind of been inconsistent down the stretch some. We'll see what they can do. Wake Forest is, I think, going to win that regional. Yeah. As the 2. But I'm eager to see that one.
Yeah. I really like the Athens. I think that one's going to be tough, specifically for anybody playing Georgia. because Georgia hits the baseball.
And that's a hitter-friendly ballpark.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they got some. Georgia Tech isn't obviously the greatest team, but they've been pretty good this year in the ACC. The ACC's just been tough for baseball. Everybody's been good this year in that conference.
The
But
team you're going to watch out actually, I think UNC Wilmington,
yeah,
CAA, they won the postseason one.
Mhm.
College of Charleston should have got in. They were the other CAA team that should have
Yeah.
got in. They won the regular season, lost in the conference tournament final.
Mhm.
Not good that they lost or didn't get in. They should have.
Yeah.
But UNC Wilmington, I mean, 23 and they went 39 and 19, 23 and 7 in conference, out non-conference 16 and 12. Like they can, I mean, let's see, I'm trying to see if they someone tell me 7 and 5 against RPI teams 1 through 25. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, and put that in perspective for you. Georgia is what was that? RPI 6.
Mhm.
So that you better watch out for the Skyhawks. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Or the whatever they are. It's not the Skyhawks, but yeah. I would be more worried UNC Wilmington than I would be Georgia Tech.
I don't know. I just remember watching Georgia Tech play earlier this year against Florida State, and they
also should have got swept by Georgia. They should have. I think, and realistically, they did. They were getting their butts whooped, and then for some reason the ACC stepped in and called one of the games because of rain. Okay.
Yeah,
that wasn't going to happen. I don't. think there's nowhere to run now. Tech, little brother's here. You're heading up to Big Brother's house, and you're not walking out with anything. But I will say there's some. I mean, you got some hitters for Tech, Wilmington, and Georgia. Shout out to Army, by the way, in that one. 6th straight tournament appearance, even though the Patriot League is not good. Anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Honorable mention, though, in that toughest spot, Raleigh Regional, South Carolina, and NC State. Both teams scorching hot coming in.
That's a good pick.
So we'll see who can come out of that one.
Is this James Madison's first time in the tournament?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I don't recognize him ever being in it.
I'm sure it's not the first time, but it could be a while. But we'll move on now to our regional picks.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of just go in order. We'll start at the top with Knoxville. Knoxville is the number 1 overall seed. Tennessee. Tennessee, I like to win the regional. Let's do.
Yeah.
Do you have the whole bracket pulled up?
Yep.
All right. So let's do We'll do winner and runner up.
Yeah.
For that. So I like Tennessee to win it. I do think Indiana snuck in at the end. I do think that they can be the runner ups.
Yeah. That's exactly my thoughts too. That's I was either thinking, because I think Tennessee is they're probably the best team in the tournament right now. But I think Indiana's pretty solid. I think they'll pose a decent threat, but they're not gonna win it.
I like in the Greenville regional, like I said just a minute ago, I think Wake Forest is going to win it. I think the pitching's going to be. I think Chase Burns may not play Friday. I don't know if he'll start Friday, but they could be saving him because I think they're going to take care of VCU. That ballpark is a hitter-friendly park too. Yeah, and that's bad news for any team playing Wake Forest. And so I think Wake Forest is going to beat East Carolina in the regional final and move on to set up a storybook Hollywood type thing with Chase Burns heading back to Tennessee to pitch against his former ball club. Can't make that stuff up.
I like your dreams, but I'm actually going to stick with East Carolina at the 1 seed. I think Wake Forest is good, but I think East Carolina just being, they get the home tournament. I think it's going to be a good atmosphere for them. I kind of just like them to take care of business.
Wake Forest RPI 9, 38 and 20 on the year, 17 and 16 conference play, 21 and 4 out of conference. The only thing that's going to be is if they can hit, or if they can pitch good enough, because that's what's really held them back. Some of the guys that were even on their last year's ball club, they went to Omaha, has not been as good. Yeah, if they can kind of figure that out here. I think that's what's going to make or break them. We'll move on, though, to the Norman Regional. Stay on this side of the bracket. Oklahoma, Oral Roberts, Connecticut, and Duke. Duke won the ACC, did not get the hosting spot. They head to Norman as the 2 seed. I like Duke to win this.
Yeah.
I like Oklahoma to be the runner-ups. Oklahoma, I don't think has been swept all year outside of a loss against Lamar.
Mhm.
So the Sooners are good. They're legit. They lost. They won the regular season by 3.5 games. The Big 12 lost in the tournament final. They're good, and that's nothing against Oklahoma. I think Duke is playing really good ball right now, and you get teams down the stretch here playing good ball, and I think that's what they're going to run into. I think they're just running into a better team right now in Duke.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, I saw Duke play Florida State, and they beat them bad. I mean, I can't really pick against Duke right now. I think they're the best team in that regional. But I think Oklahoma's a solid team. I think if Duke wasn't in that regional, they'd probably win it pretty well. But just having Duke in there, Duke being as hot as they are right now, I got to go Duke.
Yeah, there's a lot of 2 seeds in here. I think that can make a lot of noise in this tournament.
Yeah.
And I just don't think you're going to see a lot of 1 seeds make it, to be honest with you. But in the Tallahassee regional, I do see the 1 seed moving on. That is Florida State. I think Dick Hauser is just too good of a home atmosphere. Florida State Florida State does really well there. This year they went 27-4 at home. And the fact that they played so well, they don't have to go on the road, and they're non-conference 22-2. So RPI 7. I mean, they should be fine.
Yeah.
They're going to pitching, hitting, James Tibbs, Cam Smith, and all of them. They'll be good. I do like UCF though as the runner-up. I just think a pesky group out of the Big 12. They were one of the at-large bids that were kind of on the teetering on the bubble. They get in.
Yeah.
I think they can, make a little noise here. I think Alabama hasn't been as good. I'm a little surprised they got in as a 2. Just because I don't know. They never really 13-18 in conference. We know how tough the SEC is, but I don't know. 15-20 against teams in 1 through 25 in the RPI. I mean, overall 33-22, nothing crazy. But I just think UCF will beat them and then move on and lose to Florida State.
Yeah, I got similar thoughts to you. I like Florida State winning. They get the regional in Tallahassee, which is great. The entire city's about them right now. It's been very, vocal. And I think for the most part, they're the best team in that regional. Like just talent-wise, they got a lot of guys. I'm hoping I get to see stuff out of my boy Connor. Go Connor.
There you go.
Connor Whitaker, pitcher. Look him up.
Connor Whitaker, by the way, I believe he's not too bad of a not too bad.
No, he's not bad. Yeah. No, we went to high school together. But I like Florida State. I do like the sneaky pick. I do like Stetson actually to be the runner-up. I know they're not going to be the craziest team, but Stetson always has guys. Jacob DeGrom is from Stetson, by the way.
Yes, we knew that.
Yeah. Some people didn't. Some people don't know that.
Shout out to Jacob DeGrom. Shout out Chris Sale, FGCU.
Yeah.
I don't know. We just started doing shout outs. Connor Whitaker, 5.13 ERA, 4-0 this year, 39 strikeouts. There you go. Shout out Connor Whitaker.
Yeah.
Come on to the show. Friend of the show anytime. Moving on, the Fayetteville Regional. Arkansas, I like to win it. I think they're pitching Hagen Smith and that pitching that pitching staff is too dominant. Even though their offense hasn't been up to par, I think, to that standard of how well the pitching staff's been. I think you play in the hog pen down there at Baumwalker. I mean, it's just a completely different atmosphere. And so I think Arkansas is really gonna have any trouble winning this. I do think Kansas State will be the runner-up.
Yeah.
If there's anything there.
No, yeah, I also think I think Arkansas is gonna win. I do like Louisiana Tech as the runner-up though. I think they actually had a pretty solid team this year.
You're
good. You're good.
Moving on is the Charlottesville Regional. And that is where I believe you have Virginia, Penn, University of Penn, St. John's, the Johnnies are back, and Mississippi State. I like Mississippi State to win this.
Mm-hmm.
I think, again, they're one of those teams like Duke where I thought they should have hosted.
Yeah.
And, they're playing really good ball down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
I think their pitching staff is really good.
Yeah.
At least their starters are. And the hitting, I think, is really good. So I like them to win it. Virginia is really tough to play at home. They somehow always get to host, which is nothing on them. I think that's just Virginia being Virginia and how well they play at home. 26-7 at home, compared to being 4-5 on the road.
Yeah.
So you can see they play a lot better at home. But I mean, really, everyone does. But in postseason playing at home is so big. But I just think Mississippi State's playing too good baseball right now. I just think Virginia won't be able to match that. So I like Virginia to finish second in the regional, but Mississippi State moves on.
Yeah, no, I had Mississippi State winning too. Virginia being a close second. I mean, my only thing is like Mississippi State always plays well when it comes to like baseball in the postseason tournament. I mean, every single year they're. I mean, not every single year, but almost every single year they got a team that can compete pretty well. They're always putting up good baseball they have a fantastic baseball program. With Virginia, I'm just like, they're fine. I mean, I don't know if they should have been the hosting, but
Oh no, they should have hosted. But I mean, 41-15, 19-13 in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to hang your hat there.
Yeah,
I just think they, and they're just not going to be able to, beat Mississippi State. May get them once, but I just don't think they'll be able to win the regional.
That's fair.
The Tucson regional, I'm like Dallas Baptist to win it. I think Arizona's going to be the runner-up. Like I said a little bit ago, I think this is going to be one of the tougher regionals in general. It's going to be one of the more fun ones too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like Dallas Baptist to win it. I love what Arizona's done at this point.
Yeah.
But give me Dallas Baptist.
I'm going to go with Arizona. I like that 1 seed there. I like Arizona. Last year in the Pac-12 for baseball. It's crazy that's already dead. Yeah. Man, I can't get over that. But, I think both Dallas Baptist and West Virginia are going to be pretty good in that tournament. But I just think Arizona is going to win it. I like Arizona here.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of going back and forth on that.
Yeah.
But I land here with Dallas Baptist. Chapel Hill Regional, give me LSU.
Yeah.
I went back and forth with this one with North Carolina because I'm born in North Carolina. I always say I got that honorary blood bandwagon spot. Not here, as much as that hurts me because I do like the Tar Heels. I just think LSU is playing too good right now.
Mm-hmm.
They found something in that starting pitching, and the offense is just clicking right now. And so, give me the Tigers. They're one of the teams nobody wanted in the regional, and unfortunately for the 4th overall seed in the tournament, North Carolina gets them. And unfortunately, that's what's going to be their downfall. And and the Tar Heels will not get out of the regional.
I agree with you. I see the defending champs going past this run.
Yep. They weren't the defending champs. Oh, never mind. I was thinking about
LSU
for a second. I thought you were talking about North Carolina for a second.
No. LSU defending champs. They're getting past the regional.
The Lexington regional, I like Kentucky to win it.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Indiana State will be the second team. Indiana State, only team, RPI 10, only team ever in the top 10 of RPI, I believe, to not host. Thought they should have hosted.
Mm-hmm.
They're another one of those teams that we think probably should have thought hosted, but they get sent to Lexington. Kentucky's a really good ball club. I mean, really good. And 21-6 on home. I think it was really more crazy for Kentucky. They 16-5 on the road. On the road. I mean, that's in the SEC 23-10.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Wildcats win this regional, but I do think they may get a little fight out of Indiana State. The Sycamores.
Yeah. I'm actually going to go with Indiana State to win it.
Okay.
I mean, like you said, they were one of the best teams not to host a regional.
Yeah.
Kentucky's good, but I don't see anything crazy from Kentucky. I like Indiana State. I don't know. It's hard to put into words. Sometimes you just get that feeling.
You just get that feeling.
And it's just like, man, yeah, no. Indiana State. I'm going with Indiana State. With Kentucky running up.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can't all be right, Anyway, moving on to the Corvallis Regional. Oregon State, I do think, wins this.
Mm-hmm.
They get a relatively good draw. Tulane, Nichols, and UC Irvine. UC Irvine being the only other challenger, I think. I think UC Irvine's the second team. UC Irvine 20-5 on the road. So no slouch out of the Big West.
That's pretty good.
But, I just think that the Anteaters will meet their match against the Beavers. And, Oregon State playing at home. You have Travis Bonanza. I think that's his name. Could be wrong. Could be right. Trying to find it. Yeah, Travis Bazana. Excuse my language. Bonanza. Bazana. Excuse me. Kid. He's a really good ball player. He's going to be a top 10 pick, I think, if I last looked at the MLB draft.
Yeah.
Mock draft. And they're 24-2 at home. Oregon State is 9-10 on the road. So they get to be one of those teams that gets to host 22-2 non-conference too. So I think they get a good draw being where they're at. And so I like Oregon State.
Yeah, I like Oregon State too. I mean, the other teams aren't bad, but
Tulane, back-to-back American champs.
Congrats to them.
Never forget what they did last year. 19-40 record. They won the tournament, the conference tournament, and got in.
Yep.
Talk about a bid stealer. Team that's 21 games under 500 wins the tournament. That is just something.
It's kind of impressive, though. Like it's like actually impressive. Like it's like
you don't see
sport. The power of sport.
The power of sports in Clearwater, Florida. There you go. All right, the Raleigh Regional is where NC State, Bryant, James Madison, South Carolina are, and I think South Carolina is going to be winning that.
Yeah,
the Gamecocks, led by Cole Messina, who might be the hottest hitter in baseball right now. Ethan Petrie on there as well, and you have Reeves. All of them, they're just hitting the snot out of the baseball.
Yeah,
and if the pitching can be good enough, I think they'll be good. NC State's been just as hot, but I think they're running into an even hotter team, and the Gamecocks will. I don't know. I don't have really anything else to. Any other analogies there, but give me South Carolina.
Yeah, I like South Carolina too, as you said. I mean, I think they've just been overall a better, like I like their team more than like NC State's. I mean, NC State's not bad, but
South Carolina 9-10 away from Founders Park, so on the road. 20-4 non-conference. NC State 25-7 at home. South Carolina RPI 21, 15-20 against teams 1 through 25 in the RPI. NC State is RPI 14. So I guess if there's ever anything. Excuse me, my dogs are acting retarded again. One second.
You're good. You're good. But no, I'm gonna go with the Gamecocks. I like the Gamecocks in this situation. I think they got a good team. They got some good hitters. NC State's pretty good, but I think they're gonna be the runner-up.
Yeah. All right, we move on to the Athens Regional now, where we have Georgia winning this thing. I do think the offense will be too much.
Yeah.
Their pitching has been good as of late. I think second half of the season has been fairly decent. And if their starters can eat innings for that bullpen, which has been off and on, they should be fine. They should relatively cruise to this regional. This is like their first golden shot as far as the regional goes, where they really don't have another team that can match them. The only other team, really, UNC Wilmington, is the only one that would scare me if you were a Dogs fan.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, Army and Tech aren't really anything special. So give me Georgia. UNC and Wilmington, I like to be the runner-ups, though.
Yeah, no, I got Georgia winning it pretty by far. I don't think anybody else is really as good as them. But I disagree with you. I got Georgia Tech as the runner-up.
Perfect. We like disagreements again, just one can be right, and it's not you. So anyway, we move on again to the Clemson Regional. Clemson And High Point, Coastal Carolina, and Vanderbilt.
Mhm.
I think Vanderbilt wins this regional. I think the pitching is what's really going to make the difference here. And they've had success in the past at Clemson and regionals. So
Yeah.
give me the Commodores. I think Clemson finishes second, but don't be shocked if Coastal Carolina makes a little noise in this regional.
So I'm gonna disagree with you. I got Clemson winning the regional with Vanderbilt being the runner-up. I also agree with you that Coastal Carolina will make a little bit of noise. I do like the chandeliers.
Chanticleers.
My bad.
It's okay.
But I think Clemson Tigers have been really good this year. I watched them play a couple of times this year when they played FSU.
Mhm.
I think they're really solid. Vanderbilt, to me, is just not what they were just a few years ago. And because of that, I like Clemson a lot more right now.
If Vanderbilt's offense goes into like hibernation again, like they were down the stretch of the season, they could be in some trouble. That's why I think that first game is so intriguing with Coastal Carolina, because if Coastal can kind of jump on them early, can Vanderbilt respond to that? That would be the big question.
I think Vanderbilt's going to squeak it out of Coastal. Like, that's going to be a close one. But then when they play Clemson, they're going to be exhausted. They're going to be done for.
I will wonder, though, for Clemson, will this be a repeat of what happened last year when, they hosted, but they had Tennessee in that regional, and Tennessee beat them, knocked them out? Will that be Vanderbilt this year?
I don't think so, just because I think Tennessee was better last year than Vanderbilt is this year.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the only reason I disagree with that. I just think Clemson, they're like, okay, we got this year. We play High Point first. Let's just take care of business. Let's get out of there, and let's worry about Oklahoma State next.
I never want to look ahead, but I do think in the Stillwater Regional, Oklahoma State does win it. They also do have Niagara, Florida, and Nebraska in that regional. I think Florida finishes second, runner up. And the only reason why I say that is, for some reason, I don't know why, but they got in. Should they have gotten in? That's for people to debate about. They do. They have a tough one against the Huskers, but for some reason, watch Florida would not be surprised either. Florida just decides to go to like Omaha, either for some dumb reason. Their pitching and offense are been too inconsistent, I think, to win this regional. I think Oklahoma State is by far the better team in this regional.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if Florida gives them a run for their money. There's going to be a bunch of home runs hit in this regional. And a good question for Florida is, their best pitcher is Jack Caglione. Does he start game one?
Yeah.
So that will be determined tomorrow. But who do you like?
I like Oklahoma State with Nebraska being the runner-up. I just don't think Florida they're not what they were last year.
No.
Or what they've been in recent years either at all.
No,
and to me, they're kind of like a shadow. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, they're there, but to be completely honest with you, I don't think they do anything better than Oklahoma State or Nebraska.
Yeah.
Like Jack Caglione, he's pretty good, but, one guy. Baseball, it's a team sport, buddy.
Well, they have guys. I think the injury with like Ty Evans hurts them in the outfield. They're down also Hayden Yost, who tore his ACL in the Athens series. So they're short depth-wise in the outfield.
Yeah.
They're going to have guys like Heyman and Shelton step up. I think those two guys specifically. Can they get that third guy besides Caglione? If your other teams that you're playing them, do you just been doing what a lot of teams been doing lately, and that's just putting them on base? We'll see. But, would not be surprised if Florida kind of slivers their way through. But I do think Oklahoma State and the Cowboys win that region.
Yeah.
Moving on, though. Two more here. UC Santa Barbara, the Gauchos. Nice little fun fact of the day for you. 25-0 at home this year. 25-0. Just way past the word of impressive. That's just unfathomable. I don't even know if I said that word right. It's not unheard of. Like, nobody does that. You usually lose one. 16-12 on the road. The boys from Santa Barbara are 13th in RPI.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think they don't have a bad. I mean, Fresno State RPI 183. Oregon, though, I think could be the runner-up in this
Yeah.
regional. I think the Gauchos, if they win it, but Oregon, San Diego, one of those two teams could give them maybe a run. But I just think UC Santa Barbara too much playing at home.
They don't lose at home.
They don't lose. Stats don't lie.
Stats don't lie. They don't lose at home. I also agree with you. I got UC Santa Barbara winning. I got Oregon being the runner-up though too, because Oregon. Oregon's Oregon. They play. They play great baseball.
They should. They wish they would have. They were almost a game away from clinching their ticket to Omaha. Ran into an Oral Roberts team that just.
Yeah.
They just were. They had that postseason magic.
I wonder if Oral Roberts does anything in Norman. That would be interesting to watch.
They did something in Oklahoma State last year. So
exactly.
Not
a new country for them.
No. Final regional here before we hit to the super regionals.
Yep.
Are you keeping tally of who you like?
Mental tally. I'm gonna put it in later. I know who I picked.
Just because when we go to like the super regional pick.
Yeah.
I like College Station Regional. Give me A&M to win it and Louisiana Lafayette to be the runner-up. I think A&M's big three with Laviolette, Montgomery, and Grohovec. Too much. And the bubbles and the chance we rallying and the crazy Colts of A&M will be there to support.
Yeah. I mean, I got A&M winning it, but I have Texas being the runner-up. I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be we'll be very happy that we're not there in the stands because it might be kind of scary there. Won't even lie to you.
Yeah.
Probably fun, but pretty scary.
Right.
So I think A&M will move on with Texas being very mad at home and saying some very not nice things on Twitter.
So there you go. There's the regional picks. We'll do our super regional picks really fast here, and then we'll do our Omaha picks.
Yeah.
So obviously, we both had Tennessee, and you had East Carolina winning it. I had Wake Forest. I had Tennessee winning the regional anyway, the super regional. So I have them in Omaha. I had Florida State getting revenge on Duke and knocking them out and moving to Omaha. I had Arkansas beating Mississippi State, LSU beating Dallas Baptist, Texas A&M taking out UC Santa Barbara. I had Oklahoma State beating Vanderbilt, Georgia beating South Carolina, Kentucky beating Oregon State.
Okay.
The only games I could see that could go 3 games, possibly the Tennessee game. Tennessee one with Chase Burns if he can steal a game.
Yeah.
I think that the Duke Florida State game could. Honestly, a lot of these might. But Arkansas, Mississippi State might. I think LSU wins in 2. Texas A&M will win in 2, I think. And I think Georgia wins in 2. The rest I could see going 3.
So I got Tennessee beating East Carolina. I think Florida State's going to beat Duke for sure. Arkansas, I think that one will be close with Mississippi State. But I think Arkansas is going to win. I do think LSU is going to be Arizona for me. A&M, I think, is going to beat UC Santa Barbara. I do like Clemson over Oklahoma State, though. And I like Georgia over South Carolina. And I'm going to go with Oregon State over Indiana State.
Okay. So our Omaha picks now. College World Series predictions. Who do you like out of the 8? Who do you think wins? So bracket 1 would be like the winner of the Knoxville Regional, the Greenville Regional, trying to see here, the Norman Tallahassee Regional, and the Fayetteville Charlottesville Regional.
Yep.
And then like the Tucson. Nonetheless, let's just put that out of the way. So you have your 8. Who do you like to? Who's in your final, and who do you like to win?
All right. So I do think the final is going to be Tennessee. I think Tennessee has the mojo to get all the way. And Man, on the other side, that's the only part that makes me go, I really don't know. But I'm thinking, Tennessee and Georgia. I think those two
Oh,
could
Dylan,
go all the way.
don't get my hopes up like that.
But
The
I
only
hate
thing
to break it to you. I would think Tennessee would be able to pull it out, though.
Yeah. So those teams met earlier this year. Georgia, they went to a game 3 rubber match.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, realistically, they smoked them game 1, blew an 8-0 lead, 8-3 lead, one of those two. I forget what it was, but it was a bigger lead like that. Game 2, blew it, and then lost game 3. The only thing that's going to hurt me with Georgia in Omaha, that ballpark is really big. It plays big.
Yeah.
Plays to pitcher's favorite. Historically, it does.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just concerned with Georgia how well they're a home run hitting team, a very offensive minded team.
Yeah.
You saw it a little bit in Hoover. You've seen it a little bit on the road in some of these bigger ballparks. Can they generate enough offense to win? That's going to be the issue. I think that they may run into in Omaha. Yeah. But I do think they're a runner up in bracket 2. I do like Tennessee to win bracket 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think Arkansas finishes right behind them. I was kind of going back and forth through just how well pitching wise Arkansas is. I'm just worried about that offense if they can get runs across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Tennessee and I like A&M to win the bracket 2 against Georgia.
That's a fair one. I mean, I just like Georgia because I think that when their bats are hot,
because you have Condon, you have Corey Collins, you have Slade Alford, you have guys. Those are like your big 3 guys, and then you kind of behind them Chadwick, Goldstein, Dylan Carter, Paul Tates. Like they have an offense top to bottom that can kill you.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. They rely on the home run ball too much.
Yeah,
is that going to hurt them when they get there? If it doesn't, be my guess. I can't let them hoist the trophy. All that matter. But I like A&M to win it. I think they're big 3. I think the pitching wise, they have one of the best relievers in baseball. And like, get his last name. It's like Oschenbach, something like that. Mm-hmm. Ryan Prager, their Friday night guy. I think he's going to be able to dominate. And it's all about winning that first game. You can win that first game. You have a little wiggle room that second game, but you got to win the first game. I think A&M's going to do it. May take them 3 games, but I like give me the Aggies. Let me be a cult member. I'll wave that white towel around.
Yeah.
Start doing the funky dances and all that stuff like that. But give me the Aggies over in Tennessee. How many games do you like Tennessee? And who'd you have Tennessee and Georgia?
I had Tennessee and Georgia.
How many games though?
How many games is it?
It's a 3-game set.
3 games? I would say 3 games.
3 games? I like
A&M all the way. 3. Yeah.
So
I think whatever team is going to be, I think it's going to go 3. I think
Tennessee's really good.
The only chance I see of it going where a team gets is if we get like a UC Santa Barbara, just like they have a month where it's all about them.
That's what like Ole Miss was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2 years ago when they went They went 10-0 in postseason play. Never lost a game.
Yep.
They were one of the last 4 teams in and just killed everyone they played.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be this year's Florida, maybe.
No.
I mean, we'll see. Don't think so, but you never know.
Yeah.
But listen, let's not tout Tennessee, though. Tennessee, pitching-wise, outstanding. They have guys like Blake Burke, Christian Moore, Billy Amick. They got dudes, like top 20 dudes in the MLB draft kind of, or dudes. So don't doubt them at all. But I don't know. I just think A&M's going to win. And
I think, I got to agree with you there. I think you're right.
And listen, A&M has the best odds right now, according to Hard Rock Bet. A&M plus 500, Tennessee right behind it plus 600. You have Georgia, which I don't know if you're a betting man, but Georgia plus 2250 right now to win the College World Series. Florida State plus 1750. Clemson's at plus 1300. Arkansas could maybe a little sprinkle here from Hunter. Plus 1,000 to win it. That's not bad. Plus 1,000, you give me Arkansas and Hagen Smith and them. You might be calling the Hogs. All in the Hogs here. But that's going to be it for today.
Yeah.
We will be watching baseball all weekend and then report back. We'll do like a regional update as we did last year. We'll talk about what happened, what we thought, maybe our takeaways and everything going into supers. Same thing before. Oh, so and then we'll have our Big 12 tier rankings next week as well. And we'll kind of go from there. As we start getting into the dog days of summer here, closer and closer to football. Which means we'll have our conference previews coming up. We're getting action packed right now.
Yeah.
Action packed. Dylan, any final words though before we sign it off for today?
Nope. Just gonna ask everybody, please watch the regionals. That's gonna be a fun time. All the games are gonna be on. I think they're all on like the ESPN network this weekend. Yeah. So they should all be somewhat available for everybody to see. I'd recommend everybody go check them out.
For sure. Make sure you guys are subscribing. We're gonna get those numbers up, guys. Come on. We got this. We got this. We're trying to get the triple digits in subscribers. We're like at 84 right now, 83. Let's get it up. For start of football season next year. So we got a good audience going in. But if you guys are new and you're college baseball fans, hit that subscribe button because we're
gonna post more information about it.
We're an all collegiate thing, sports podcast that likes to really focus on football, baseball, the whole ordeal. So make sure you guys are subscribing, regardless of what sport you like. Subscribe, watch us on YouTube, listen on Spotify. Dylan's going to sign us out for today.
Yep. And I'll see you guys.
Yeah, what an ending. Let's get a little more energy, Dylan. Try it again.
Let's see you guys.
Well, you'd be like more see ya.
See ya.
There we go.
All right.